Hi, hello everyone. I'm Subhranil and I'm going to present how to use blade templating in Laravel framework. So let me start with some basic concept of using template. So normally we follow the template structure when we use HTML pages. So things like that template give us lots of flexibility to use some repeated code and have a good structure of HTML. So in this blade template, when you use, we have a flexibility where we can avoid all the common repetitive code in all the template, and we can use the same code everywhere we require. So we don't need to type it out same code again and again in all the pages we require. So like that, in a page we have like few common sections like header, footer and the navigation. So wherever all the pages we require this, we need to write the same code again and again throughout all the pages. But through blade template architecture we can avoid this repeating work. So it will not only decrease our time but also help us to maintain our code easily. Like in future, if we need to change something in the header or footer, then we just need to change it in only one place. We don't need to open all the pages and do the same changes. So the Laravel framework by default give us a template engine called blade templating, and which is very easy to use, also very flexible. So here I am going to put some light on how to use Laravel blade template with Laravel framework. So this is my introduction, means why to use blade layout to blade layouts to accept template. So this is like that. Every HTML page has common elements for your website, and there are things like navigation bar, content area, a header and footer, and you are tired of all the waste time you spend duplicating one. So let's see how we create a blade template. So here you see I have a simple HTML page, and where I have a section. So later I will tell you what section, all these things. So here you see I have a section, and that section is called navigation, and where I have some links. And then second I have a div where you can see it is called container, and in this container I write a function called yield and I put some content. So let's get into the detail. So this is the previous slide. This is my basic layout style. So it will be we will keep using the same design for all other pages wherever we require. And this container is the content page, means which is the main page content, which will be keep changing based upon the page we will keep switching. So all the common content will come from here, and this content will come wherever pages we require which content. So here you can see I have a page where I just extend the layout main, and I use the section content and put my content over here. So that means that layout main I extend over here, and I just put or override the content along with the content I want to display into that page. So here that thing is like that. Extend must always be the very first thing in the template when used. So if I am going to use any or extend any template inside another template, so that extend should be the very first line of that code. Okay. Now, so if you see my main layout, then I extend it to another page, and let's see how that output will come. So here you see all the common page, and the container just replaced with the content I just put in the other page where I extended the main layout. Now how you can output a content of a blade section. So normally when I need to output some content in the blade template, we use a function called yield. So when we are yielding something, that is means that content inside that section is going to visible to the user. So here I have an example, like you see I have a section called bottom, and this is the bottom, this is the content of the section, and there is another section called top, and this is the content, this is the top, is the content of the top section. Now here I just yield first top, then the bottom, then you can see that output. So it is showing this is the top and this is the bottom. So it is not necessary like that what sequence you mention all the section it will output like that, but it will output you the content according to the sequence you yield it. So what sequence you will yield it, that section content will coming to the user. So now there is another thing, when you are yielding, in the yield we pass the name of the section. So which section you are going to print or view or make it visible to user, you just name it. So that is the first parameter, but yield also take a second parameter. So that is the default text. Like if you yield some section but that section is not available or is not available or is or you missed it, so that time what happened, whatever default content you passed into that yield function, that will be visible to the user. So here I call yield function with content section and I have a no content. So if my page the content section is missing, then the default text no content will be printed to the user. So here you can see that is the output. If that content section missing, then it will be showing you no content. So for that default second parameter we can use some HTML or some styling thing to make it more attractive, or some different way we can style it. So in these things you can see, yet I have a section name, then I have some span with some CSS styling, then my content what I want to see. So in that default or missing content you can also pass some CSS and some HTML as well. Now the next thing, how you can print an variable in the blade template. So normally in PHP we just echoing it, but in blade template when I need to echo some variable we just use double curly braces, and inside this double curly braces we just put the variable name. So here you see hello, then double curly braces and dollar name. So dollar is the variable and double curly braces is the syntax of echoing function syntax of blade template. So normally what happened, blade template internally convert all these double curly braces to a PHP tag, then echo, then the variable name and close the PHP tag. So that is handled in the background by the blade template engine. So now if you want to escape the value, if you want to escape the value when outputting it through variable, so normally in PHP we use HTML entities function, but in blade template if you want to escape, then normally we use triple curly braces. So if I write hello, then triple curly braces dollar name, then it will just escape the value of that variable. And now if you say like that, you mention a variable but that variable doesn't hold any value or anything. So here you have a flexibility where you can set a default value. So if that variable doesn't exist, then what you can do, normally in PHP we check if that variable is set or not using inject function, but here you can do whatever you can do. In triple curly braces you can use the variable name, then you can write or then whatever you want to show. Like suppose you want to print a variable and but that variable doesn't exist, then you can show like okay, no result, no found, nothing. So if that variable doesn't exist, then whatever default text passed, it will be printed to the user. Now things like that, we use curly braces in the blade template as a echoing statement. Now if you want to print double curly braces to the user as well, so for escaping that we use @ before the double curly braces. So if we put double curly braces @ before the double curly braces, then this double curly braces will be printed to the user. Then let's go to that how we can use all the control structure. Normally it is similar to PHP. So in if we use only @ all the if control structure start with @. So @if, then else if will be start with else if, then again else also @, and then at the end you need to mention end if. So things like that, wherever you have a @ or if, PHP will replace with that PHP tag, then if, and probably curly braces, and whenever you have a end if, it will be just end of close of curly braces, and then the PHP tag. So PHP internally, or not PHP, that blade template engine internally change all these things into PHP code, native PHP code. So it's very simple like that. Now blade template also provide a function called unless. So unless is just a similar way of using a if statement. So thing is like that, here I have an example, like if you want to use like at the rate of if and not condition, then normally we use unless. So here I have a sample code like unless $age greater equal to 18, then you cannot vote. So it is just reverse way, and when you use unless, it is just converted by a if condition of that blade template, like if condition with not. Now if you want to write some comment in the blade template, normally when we want to comment something in the PHP code, we just start with slash asterisk then and end with asterisk slash. In that blade template, you will start with curly braces, then double hyphen, and when you end, it will be double hyphen, then double curly braces. But thing is like that, whatever comment you are writing in blade template, if that comment also contains some slash star and or star slash, then it will not going to work, because that double curly braces and double hyphen will be replaced by slash star by blade template engine to native PHP code, and if your content has also that star slash, then that will be already closed. So be very sure like that you don't have any star slash or slash tag in your blade templating comment. Now that let's go to that some loops. So it is similar to PHP for. When we need to use for, here we use at the rate of for, then all other are similar, all parameters, and when you need to close the for each, we end it like at the rate end for. Same as for each, like PHP, we use at the rate of for each, and when you need to end the loop, we just use at the rate of end for each. So here you will have everything similar, like for each I have used $dict and at the rate of what and the meaning, and then we echo this variable and I just close this. So it is all these things are similar to PHP, normal PHP coding, only just for each start with at the rate for each, and for each end with at the rate of end for each. Same as we can use while loop as a start with at the rate of while, and while will be end with at the rate end while. Now how you can include one blade template into another blade template. Suppose I have a layout, but also think like that inside that layout I extend it to another page, but in that page also I have lot of section or lot of things which I want to break into multiple pages. So those pages how I can include in a page. So normally in blade template provide a function called include, and in that include I just use it at the rate of include and that file name. So file name will be that here you can see I use at the rate of include common header. So that means common header is a PHP file called common header.php, or it may be inside view common header.blade.php, and it resides in the view folder of that Laravel project setup. Now that include also provides some good flexibility, like when you are including a page inside another page, and if you want to pass some variable to that included file which can be used in that file, then you can do it. Like here you see I included a file and I need to pass some variable which are used in this my partial name file. So here what I did, I take an array and I pass all the value required in this file. So inside that include function you can use the file along with all the parameters you can pass which can be used in the included file. Then how you can render a view file from item of collection. So that is same as using each. You can do as each, same as also it is each is I can say like equivalent to a for each of that blade template. Okay, now if you want to yield a section content, then how you can do? Previously we see you can do it by using yield, but now you can do it using show command. So after writing a section all the content, then you can end it with show. So actually how show is working, so you can think like that. Show is the same thing like it is doing first using the stop, then the very next step here it is just calling the yield function. So here you can see I have a code chunk which section 1 and I have something that I stopped it. So this content is not going to be rendered in the browser unless until we yield it. But the section 2, you see we have the show command followed by it. So what happened, we don't need to yield it, but we can this content will be visible to user, and because we have entered this section with show, and this show means that show will be replaced with internally by a stop stack, and the very next step it will be just yielding the content of that section. So next thing, starting to inject content into a blade section. So how you can injecting a content into a blade section? So here we use section blade command to starting, and we have a various other function which we can use like stop, show, override, append means how we want to be injecting that content. But alternatively we have another way like where we can inject, like that is a shortcut function of a rendering a section, that is called section, then the section name and the content. So this section you don't need to followed by a stop or show or whatever. This will do just render this section directly without yielding it. So this doesn't require a stop. Then if you want to stop injecting content into a section, so for stop injecting content you have that section, then section name, and you have that content for that section, then you just use stop function. So what happens, this section will not be inject in the page and it will not be visible to the user unless until you yield that section. So here I have a section and sample code where you can see I have a page with a section called test, and inside that I have one. Again I have a section called test and I have content 2, and I stop and I yield the test. Then what do you think, what will be the output? So it will be, output will be 1 or 2 or 1 and 2 both. Unfortunately the output will be 1, means if you have the same section in multiple times, then the whatever section coming first, that will be outputted. So you can use that if you want to merge this content of the same section. If you use multiple times, then you can use parent command. Then if you use parent command, then what happen, all the section with same name will be come together. So let's see an example. Okay, that parent section will come later, but let's see means how you can append. So suppose you have a section and you have some content, but again you want to add some content with the same section again. So how you can append it? So there is a, you can see I have a section called test and 1, then again test and 2, and I yield test, and it is just giving me a output as 1. But if I want to output as 1 and 2, then I can do like that. I have a first section test 1, then again section test 2, and I use append instead of stop, and then I yield test. Then what happened? Then first it will render the test section, then first test, then it will go to the second test, and it will use append. So this content will be append to that first section with the same name. Then stop injecting content into a section and overwriting. So suppose you have a section, you already have some content, but you just want to replace that content with some different or new content. Then how you can do it? So that means if you want to override the content of a section, then how you can do it? So there is a function called override. So here you have a section, then the content for which you want to overwrite, then that section with the content by which you will overwrite. So here I have a section with content test, same section with content 2, but here instead of stop I have overwrite and I use yield, so it will give me the output as a 2, because that section 1 content 1 is overwrite by the very next section, because I use override over here. Then the parent thing means if you want to use parent, so let's see how you can use parent. So here you see I have a section with test and I mention parent, then the button, then stop, then again I have a section test and I have a top, and here I make a show. So here I just show means I am yielding it, so it will give me output as a top to bottom. Then let's see means how this code is flowing. So line 1 I have a test, so start capturing output of the section will be called test. They capture the two lines at the rate of parent and bottom. Then stop capturing output because there is no previous section, so all we do is to store these two lines. So this is the first section, so we will storing this. Then it is moving to the next section, start capturing output. This section will be called test. Then capturing the line top. So in this here I have a top, and before that I have stored as parent and bottom. Then stop capturing data, since there is already a section named test, we will replace any parent in the previous section with our captured data. Now our test section contains two lines, top and bottom, so that next section I have a captured data as a top, and that first section I have a captured data as a parent and bottom. So that parent will be replaced with top and it will be give me an output as a top and bottom. Then setting the content tag of a blade uses. So normally blade template use double curly braces to tell like that it is a blade template styling, and so if you want to print something or echoing something, then you need to use double curly braces. But the problem is like that, I think you all are using JavaScript template or Aura JavaScript template. There are blade template, there are mustache, handlebars template are there, and those templates also use double curly braces as a printing data. So in a page, if blade template, if you have also that JavaScript template, then that will be conflicted and code will be confused. So you have an option where you can replace your blade template tag with the tag you want to be. So there is a tag function called blade, then set content tag, and if you want to use different tag, then you just need to pass the opening tag and closing tag. So you see I use a square braces, then percentage as opening and percentage and square braces as a closing. So here I just use blade, then set content tag and these two. So in the blade template I don't need to use double curly braces, I can able to do everything using this tag. So if I want to echo a variable, I use it like square braces, then percentage, then variable name, and then percentage and the square braces closed. So if you can also pass a second argument as a true to indicate you are setting the tags on escape content. So in the blade template we are using triple curly braces for escaping. You remember HTML entities, for HTML entities normally we are doing PHP. The same thing for doing in blade template you use triple curly braces, and if you use set content tags with another extra parameter called true, then same tags will be used as that escape tag. So whatever tags you passed with true means it will be your escaping tags. Then setting escape content tags blade uses. Okay, so normally it is triple curly braces, but if we want to use then square, then double curly braces. So here your tags are first call the method. So here I am saying blade.set content tag as in square, then double curly braces, then your template can contain code like this. So this variable pass through HTML entity before being output. Then outputting a translation in a blade template. Okay, so if normally if you have a multilingual website, then you can have all the language file and you can use use those language file as an used to render that text from the language file. You can use a lang function, and you can use that what is the file name, then the what is the parameter. So here lang message welcome, so whatever written in the welcome, it will be rendered as a linguistic. So you can build multi-linguistic site as well using blade template very easily. Then outputting translation with pluralization in blade template. So for example, like you have a choice, and pluralization means, suppose if you want to text, or that text used to be as a plural, like I suppose I say I have one mango, or and two mangoes, like that. So how you do the pluralization? So choice is message item, and then if you pass an extra parameter, then it will help you to do the pluralization as well. So and here are few functions, or all the functions we have in the blade template. So I have one single page. So I think that's it for now. Do you have any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay. Oh, sorry. I forgot one thing. Another thing, and it's very interesting one. How you use variable in the blade template. Normally, all blade template is completely a logicless dry template. But if you want to do some manipulation and you need some variable over there, then how you can do it? So for doing this, you can use PHP tag. Normally in blade template doesn't have any syntax to support that. So normally you can open up a PHP tag, and you have a variable, whatever value you assign to be, you can do. Then you can close the PHP tag, or you can use blade template special syntax, like you have, or you can use comment with the special syntax like double curly braces, then double hyphen, and star slash, then whatever variable you want to do, and then you close it like that. So it will be same as the PHP tag. Okay. So that's it. And here for this, whatever reference I take, it is from ravelrecipes.com. So you can go to that site. This site also have lots of material, other thing, you can follow it. Okay. Thank you very much.